Welcome back to Crazy Dave's Crew. I'm Laura, and we're going to catch up on our So What boxes. This is actually for November, and I'm sorry I'm so behind, but David had the accident. There was a lot of stress and things going on about the truck and about him. His back is still not good. And he says he thinks it will be, eventually. But for right now, he's still feeling it just about every day. So we had a lot of that going on. Emily had her baby. Yay! He's gorgeous. And she sent us a little video today of him cooing, which is always, be still your heart, And of course, when we had Thanksgiving, we had Christmas, we had trips to visit her and the baby. We had trips to visit some family. Still haven't been able to arrange something with my side of the family. We're in Clarksville and Kentucky and Mount Juliet, and we're jobs and things. Let's see. Oh yeah, we had like 4-degree weather. So a lot of effort went into making sure the rabbits were okay. And I'm sorry, they just hit a point. I just did not feel like sewing. There was just so much else going on. But David's got his truck back. The baby's been born, is doing well. My infusions for my myasthenia gravis is going well. The kids are, I think one still has to register his classes. But the other 2 are registered. School starts next week. Everything. The weather's gorgeous. We've done some breeding. The rabbits are about to give birth. So it's a wonderful... Okay, everything's going well now. Let me clear off my sewing table. I want to go sew. So that's what we're doing today. So the November So What box. Guys, I have to tell you, I love these boxes. Getting the extra fabric, the heat-activated button thread, which I still need to research and find out how to use that. But buttons and zippers are my nemesis. Which one of the previous boxes, I did get to put in a zipper, and I was so proud of myself. Sometimes it's the little things that just make you absolutely fabulous. I really like these boxes. I've tried a couple in the past. I think these are my favorite. Her instructions are just awesome. So why don't we get started? I'm just going to kind of put my boxes. I've kind of redone my room a little bit. So I'm going to try to put my little pieces of fabric right over here. I've got me a little shelf here behind me. I'm going to start trying to put things there instead of all over the place. I'm not going to say it's a resolution, but it is definitely a goal to be a little bit more organized, to know where my stuff is at. Alright, so we're going to make a lacy tablet case. So I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see what I'm seeing. I have not looked at these instructions, so I'm just like you guys. When you get your box, you're going to open it up, you're going to take the instructions, and that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully you'll see by the end how it's just step by step. It's a 2-minute prep time and about a 40-minute creation sewing time. And she includes everything you need, even down to the right amount of lace. Everything is pre-cut. I have some pins. I have some thread. I have a button, which I am going to put a lot of this stuff back into my little plastic box. Alright, let's adjust the camera and let's start testing this out. If you're interested in subscribing to the So What box, use the link down below. That does get me a little bit, of a kickback. It is an affiliate link, and it kind of lets her know that what's helping her get promoted. But you can get a free box with your subscription. So be sure to check out the Sew Up box. And the February box is just adorable. I can't wait to get it. So be sure to check it out. Use the link so that I get a little bit of credit for, sending you there. And see how you can get a free box. And let me tell you, that is a huge gift from her. She's awesome. This is an independent, small business. You can't get better than this. So let me adjust the camera. So I have my lace. I have this piece, one piece, two piece. I think I actually have that fabric. All right. So let's see. We're getting the pre-cut fabric, the pre-cut crochet lace, a button, video and written instructions. So I could pull up a video. You could. And just to make sure you're on the right track. It's a spool of thread, pins, a sewing machine needle, always awesome. It says what you will need is a sewing machine, scissors, and an iron. I think I got that under control. Let's turn the iron on. And if you... Oh, it's unplugged. Probably with all my moving around. So let's get that plugged back up. My rearranging and moving. There we go, it's on. I have to also brag again about my Oliso iron. So it retracts. And when you put it down, it is standing up. I love it. Definitely something for you to put on your birthday wish list. Sorry about that, guys. But for Mother's Day, for what you can spend your Christmas money on it. All right. I do have my regular foot on here. Tailor's tip. In step 3, we instruct you to top stitch the lace along one of the seam lines. You can place this lace on any seam line or even add more types of lace to the project. Before you start, fabrics in this kit are 100% cotton. Set your iron to medium-high. Careful not to melt the elastic. All seam allowances are 1/2 inch. Good to know. When I was teaching, of course, we'd always tell our students, read all of the instructions before you begin. So that's what we're going to do. Sew the large blue piece to the smallest blue piece. Right sides together along the long edge of the small piece. Press the seam open. Sew the remaining small piece to the remaining raw edge of the smallest piece. Right sides together. Press seam open. Situate the lace along the seam line, the seam between the two small pieces, just below the seam line top stitch. Make a loop. Oh, I don't think I got elastic, did I? Did I drop it? I'll bet that was that little thing that I saw drop. So, well, I have lost a little piece of elastic. Something dropped. I felt it, but I can't find it. So we will improvise. I do have a little bit, and so we'll just improvise. All right, so let me press this. And then we'll get started. Oh yeah, we're going to match up the, make a loop with the elastic, pin to the center, sew lining and outer piece together, press the seams open, match step 4 seams together, leave a 4-inch hole along the edge of the lining fabric, turn right side out, hand stitch or top stitch the hole closed, push lining into the outer piece, turning the bag, press top edge of bag, top stitch, sew button in center of top opposite the elastic. Okay. Except for me losing a little piece of elastic, I think I'm doing pretty good. Alright, so double check and make sure I know what I'm doing here. I've got my big piece of blue. There's my small piece of blue. And there's my other small piece of blue. So let me press that. And remember, there's a difference in pressing and ironing. Alright, here's my very worn tabletop ironing pad. I love this because on the other side is a cutting board and it closes up at any time. Anything that you see on Thursday Threads you should be able to find in our Amazon shop, which there's a link below. So I'm just going to press. Ironing will stretch it out a little bit. So we just want to press. Now the biggest mistake I made in October is I didn't have the right seam allowance. So we're going to take a short break while I double check my seam allowance. I'm so used to quilting that I do 1/4 inch all the time. Oh, nice, soft. And you probably can't tell, but I'm picking it up and moving it. I'm not just running it across. Alright, we'll just set that right there. Push this back out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. And I need a piece of scrap. I'm going to show you how I double checked that. Let's see if you can see this. So here's the edge of my foot. And here's my needle. So to double check, I'm taking a ruler and measuring from the edge to where my needle is. It's right at the 1/2 inch mark. You can't see that because my hands are in the way. Right there. And then the needle is right there at the 1/2 inch mark. But what happened last time still has me kind of, yeah, so we're still gonna kind of test it out here to make sure. So fabric is lined up to the edge of my standard foot. So there's my seam, and we're going to measure, and it's a 1/2 inch. Awesome. All right. And I have a brown thread in the top and a white bobbin, and that was just from a previous project. I would advise using the other fabric. Where's the instructions? Alright. So I am going to put the blue onto the blue. And I will tell you, I love that everything's pre-cut. The cutting is not my favorite part of the process. Oh, just a couple pins. Again, hey, if your fabric doesn't slip, you're awesome. Mine does. I let it slip. Alright. Keep my instructions where I can see them. I'm matching it up to the edge of my regular foot. Let's move the camera just a little bit. Santa was nice to me. I got a whole set of little new scissors and nippers. Alright. So 1/2 inch. I'm going to come forward a couple. I'm going to go backward a couple. Number one, we're not in a race. If you're lucky enough to have one of those machines that automatically ties it, that's awesome. I do have one. It's my brother in Novus. I call it Baby. But I'm going to tie off just one of those things left over from my mom, I think. Which she would have been 83 this past Sunday. She never liked the strip quilting because she always said, "What things are going to get untied?" I'm more comfortable with that, but when I am making something, I still like to tie things off. But it also helps that, yeah, see, like over here, it's not budging at all because I stay stitched it. So we'll just cut those. And of course, there'll be more stitching going on around. Let's bring this back. And I'm going to just press it down. To the dark side. I kind of like to roll it. I think I get a better opening. Okay. So, there we go. Step one. See, and then I'm supposed to sew the remaining small piece to the remaining raw edge of the smallest piece. So there's my smaller piece. And just a quick. And make sure when you're opening yours, don't lose the elastic like I just did. I'll bet she was using a smaller piece than what I've got. No, I'll bet she used 1/8 of an inch elastic, and I'm using 1/4 of an inch. That's all I've got. Let's see where we can. PDF pattern. All right. Well, I pulled up on my phone the website here, sewupbox.com, Lacy tablet, and it says, looking up, I downloaded it, I need 4 inches of a 1/4 inch elastic. Okay. Well, I think I can do that. Ta-da! I've got a 1/4 inch. So I need 4 inches. So if you happen to lose a piece, it's okay. Just look it up and you can... And that's what happened to me. And what's neat is I can print these out and I can use these as templates to make this again. Not too bad. Nice job, Miss Taylor. I love it. So we will cut off 4 inches of our 1/4 inch fabric, our 1/4 inch elastic, I mean, in a moment. So let's do step 2. This would be going a lot faster if I had not lost the piece of elastic. That's another reason why I want to get my little area cleaned up, so that when I'm looking for things like that, it's no big deal. It's right there at my fingertips, which that was pretty nice. I was able to go over to my little drawer, and all of my elastic, zippers, and Velcro is in this one drawer. So I'm going to stay stitch that. And if any of y'all are quilters, it is so weird making a 1/2 inch seam. You can do that in quilting. You just have to, whatever seam you use on the first piece, you have to use for all of them. But this is so weird. So I'm going to tie off the one end. The other end is stay stitched, so we should be good. And I'm probably being over careful, because we should have everything tacked down when we put our lining in. But alright, and now we're supposed to press this down. So, again, I'm going to kind of press it to the dark side again. Just old habit. Step 3. Situate lace along the seam between 2 small pieces just below the seam line. Top stitch in place. So I'm going to get my lace. Make sure everything's all nicely pressed out. And I'm actually going to put it right there. I'm just going to kind of put it, this is just right underneath. I think I want it right there. Lost my pen. Bring it over here. All right, so I've pinned this in place, and I have a little bit of an overlap. And she does not say it, but I am going to assume that I am going to trim off any excess. And being the crocheted lace, it wants to curve. But we're going to try to stitch it just along that top line. Fingers crossed here that I can do this. Let's bring y'all back up to the sewing machine. And of course, let's see if I can do this. Kind of sideways. I want y'all to be able to see. For this, where I'm not doing a seam allowance, I'm going to move my needle to the center. And that's just going to be a button on my machine. Because in that way, I can use this right here, you know, that little hole in the foot, as my guide for the top edge of the lace. Again, right way, wrong way, I don't know, but right there, it is right there, right in that little space, and that's where my needle is, and there it goes. Beautiful. And I'm going to do a back stitch. And that's going to be a little bit more difficult than regular sewing. But we can do this. Nice and easy. Just right. I'm going to readjust. Trying to move my fingers a little bit so y'all can see. Frequent readjusting. Guys, I am learning so much with Taylor's boxes. And I'll be honest, a tablet case is not something I would have chosen to make. My little Kindle tablet thing, it has its own little case on it, and I have not been keeping up with the time. I don't know how we're doing on the time. I mean, looking for that piece of elastic probably messed my time up. Again. These projects take me out of my comfort zone. Which is probably a very good thing. I think I moved my lace just a little bit further that way, but think it's okay. And back stitch. Now let's see how I do. Okay. All right. Let's just trim the threads off this end. Let's tie this end. And we'll trim off that extra piece of lace. I love this kind of lace though. I think Tyler and I have some very similar taste. Like I said, especially since I think we've got some of the same fabric. And she doesn't say to trim it, but I'm going to trim it. Because her pictures all look even. Right. So, according to this, we've done 3 out of 6 steps. I think I did all right. A little bit lower on that edge. That's going to be pretty. Now, okay. So I think we're going to take our flannel now and lay it down face up. And put our pretty outer piece on top, right sides to right sides. Alright, well this is showing it should be the same size, so I need to do some trimming. And I would much rather trim than be short, you know? So let's just kind of pin everything together. It says sew lining and outer piece together on the short ends with the large blue piece on the end with the elastic. Okay, so we are going to sew down the short ends. So let's do that. Well, one thing I do like about her projects is, oh, they're not 5 minutes, you know, but they're not terribly long. They give you a nice break from the housework, and you can do a little bit of sewing. All right, and if I just bring this down even. So here's what I am going to do. So when I sew this here, I'm just going to sew it along this edge, 1/2 inch here, and then I will trim this. Because apparently, well, I said maybe she sent a little bit too large, and that's okay. And I need 4 inches of my elastic. On my ruler. Put that back. Now 1/2, because I want it right in the center. So this is from 10 to 20. It means half is right there. Let's put this where y'all can see it. So if this is 20 inches across, I'm sorry, 10 inches across, and it is, I want my piece of elastic, which I've lost again. There it is. I want it right here. Right there. Because the dead center point of 10 inches is 5. Alright. So I'm going to sew my short ends, the top and the bottom, as she instructs. Honestly, I think once you get the hang of this, you can knock out a bunch of these. This is awesome. I need to remember to move my needle back so that I have a 1/2 inch. I did read that correct, right? Or a 1/2 inch. Okay. Double checking. So I'm just going to put this right here along the edge so that I have a 1/2 inch seam. And let's stay stitch that. One of the hardest part of this project would be cutting out the pieces. But even that, they're squares and rectangles. Oh, and it would be so easy to modify for a different size tablet or something, wouldn't it? I don't want to run over my needle. I don't want to let go of my elastic, so very carefully. It's in the elastic. And now I'm just going to finish it up. Always be careful about running over your needles. A bent needle can mess up your bobbin casing. A needle is much cheaper than the bobbin casing. But between you, me, and the doorstop, buying the bobbin casing from Amazon is a lot cheaper than getting it fixed by your normal repairman. But much better to change that needle. And I'm just going to tie this. And she doesn't say to, but again, that's just kind of me. I'm weird like that. This one is stay stitch, so we can just trim. And now I'm just going to cut along here so that it is. Oh, I got to show off my new toy. My husband bought this for me for Christmas. If I can get the safety off, check it out. So, turn it on. It's cordless. Look at that. Aha! So, isn't that awesome? Stalwart, this is great. We'll have a link to it. It's not expensive, and I was tickled to death with it. I've been wanting one, and this was perfect. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to put the safety back on, and put it back where I've got it. And that great? All right, so we're still on step 4. Now we're going to do this top part. Oh, this is going to be so awesome. I'm really enjoying this. This is fun. A little bit different from what I normally do. All right. Now. So far, so good. We're going to finish up step 4. And we're just going to sew across the top. Again, I'm just going to stay stitch. I'm at my 1/2 inch seam allowance. Stay stitch that one and tie it off. And this is why I like doing leaders and enders. You'll have to check that video out too. But I'm not doing it today. This is all about the sew up box. Don't you love how easy that was? I lost a piece and it was so easy for me to pull up her instructions, her PDF pattern, and find out what I needed to do. When in doubt, you can always find her video. And you can get a free box. Step 5. So we are almost 5/6 of the way done. Press the seams open. Match the step 4 seams together. Okay, so we are going to press these open. Okay. Actually, I'm going to disagree with her. I'm going to press mine in opposite directions so that I can nest them. Because I know if I nest them, they'll be good. And that's what I'm used to in quilting, is nesting the seams. So I'm just going to kind of press these. Again, I love my iron. And that was a gift from my husband for Christmas a couple years ago. Definitely can buy cheaper irons. Alright, so this one's going that way, so this one needs to go that way. Oh, I have so many things I want to learn. I don't know if I can live long enough. But, oh, and check that out. With the way we did the elastic, now it's on the outside. So we're going to match, she says, our number 4 seams together, and where I move our cord. Put it here so you can see it. So this one is going that direction. This top one's going this direction. So I am just gonna put right there, and it's awesome. And I'm gonna pin on the left and on the right, so that it doesn't move. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side. This time it's the opposite, but that's okay. The idea behind it is the same. So I've nested my seams just right there together. go to the left of the seam. And then I'm going to go to the right of the seam. So there's our seam right there, and I've gone to pinned it on each side. Alright, now, what are the instructions? Press the seams open, match step 4 seams together, folding the piece flat, sewing along the long edges. Okay, we can do that. We'll sew all the way down on one side, but on this side we'll leave about 4 inches. So, so about a 4-inch hole. And when in doubt, there's a reason why these cutting boards have all these numbers on it. There's 4 inches. I'm starting here at 14, there's 18. And I'm just going to put a pin right there. So I know to stop there. Alright. Now, because I know I'm going to slip and slide, I am going to put some pins in. Those of you who have watched me from the beginning, I'm a pinner. And I know how I sew. If you don't have to pin, I admire you. You are a rock star. I have to pin. And I'm going to kind of, okay, and that's pinned there. And I'll pin that there. And I'm going to pin that over here. And this pin looks like all the other pins, so we're just going to do this so that I know that's my stopping point. So I've got all these pins going up and down, up and down. There's my stopping point for this side. All right. Always leave yourself notes, have a pad of paper with you. Alright, here we go. Step 5, we're going to sew down the edges with a 1/2 inch. And like I said, this is going to be stay stitching a lot of these, but I am still going to stay stitch this. It just hit me. I've just learned how to do a lining. How to make some sort of a bag, a gift bag or something with a lining. Oh, watch out for my pin. Don't sew over the pin. So I've got my 1/2 inch. We'll be very careful along in here. It's going to be a little bulky with the lace. And my pin unscathed. Oops. Now I can remove that one. Hope you guys can see this. We can finish it off. I do a lot of knotting and things when I'm not doing my quilting. Oh, the eyesight. And be sure to check us out on the Thursday Threads Book Club on Facebook. Having a marvelous time with that. And I'd asked people the last time, you know, how it was going. Should we continue? And I got some really nice responses. Even if, you know, they're blind. I actually had a lady say she was blind, so she couldn't really read. But she really enjoyed hearing the reviews, and then she gets the books from some library that does the Audible. So that was really very promising for me. Alright, well, I'm going to start here. And that's going to give me my 4-inch opening. And I'm going to take that out. And that out. Just kind of straighten that up. There's my 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, now we're coming up on the lace. Oh no, not yet. This is where we step 4s. The step 4 seams, that's right. And not run over a pin. And don't run over that pin. And now the bulky lace. And take that pin out. We are almost finished. Has not been a bad little project at all. Just going to tie that there like this. Just a little bit of a knot. And I have decided this year is my year to really work on my homesteading and my herbal remedies and apothecary and essential oils. It's my 2023 is the year of the craft. Lots of crafting. Now for step 6. Oh, no, don't, nope. Turn right side out. We're still on step 5. So turn right side out. It's another one I love about her projects is they're all about 6 steps. And that is coming loose. I didn't tie it well enough. That's all right. And you could use some forceps on this. Not really necessary, but you could. So we're just going to turn this right side out. And I do believe in a previous box she sent us a little tool, which is going to come in handy. This is going to come in very handy. Okay. So let's find our opening again. And let's just use the tool that she had sent us in an earlier box. She's pretty smart. She knew we were going to be needing this. These are handy for all sorts of projects, though. The one thing you want to be careful of is to not poke a hole through your fabric. Alright, so far I think the hardest part of this project was looking for the elastic that I dropped and turning it right side out. Alright. And she says we can hand stitch or top stitch. And I think I vote for the top stitch. Because if I am seeing this correctly, I had to read it a couple of times. I messed up a little bit. What we're going to do here, we're going to top stitch this section, and it's not going to be all that important because it's going to go inside the bag. So that's when I'm looking at it going, how is this going to work? Well, we're going to do this. We're just going to top stitch this with a 1/4 inch seam. You guys probably had that already in your head of how to do it. I was just blind there for a couple seconds. Well, we're just going to do a 1/4 inch seam. The whole time I'm going, this isn't making sense. This isn't making sense. I'm doing what she's telling me to do. And then it's like, oh. Remember those old commercials with I could have had a V8? Yeah, I had a V8 moment. So let's trim that. This is going to be the inside, so it is alright. But I still want the stitching to stay. Now what we're going to do is push this in. Okay, how clever, how awesome is this? Press top edge of bag and top stitch. Sew button in the center, opposite of the elastic. So be careful not to melt the elastic, but let's kind of press our bag so it stays open. Again, always use our little corner tool. Just kind of press. Okay. A little bit better. All right. And she says to hand stitch or da-da-da-da, press top edge of bag and top stitch. So if I'm getting it correctly, we should be top stitching around here. And I think I will do that on my other machine and maybe do a little decorative stitch around and maybe do it in a dark blue. Then I'll do a button, which she sent and I did not lose. And then I'll just put the button there and attach. And we have ourselves a little tablet. Ta-da! How awesome is that? Let's see. Which, if I were to take my tablet out of my case, that would fit very well. And I just dropped a button. That would fit very well. But I kind of like my case. It stands up and different things. So all I have left to do is to rethread my machine, maybe with a dark blue, choose a decorative stitch, and just go along the top edge. And then sew the button on. And ta-da! Well, how about that? Pretty cool or what? Her instructions, again, were 100% dead on. Absolutely perfect. This was excellent. So, very pleased. Very, very pleased with this box. And I'm very proud of myself. Well, I hope you've enjoyed going through the Sew What box. Going through each step and along with me while I scratched my head and going, what on earth? This was great. I learned some things, which is always a good thing. Always expanding your skill set, learn new things, try something new. Like I said, this is not what I would have chosen as a project. But I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad that I had this project. I'm really glad that I learned about it, and I'm looking forward to learning about that heat activated button thread. And I said, you saw that if you had I lost my elastic. Totally lost it. It's somewhere in here. It may have fallen into a drawer or a box. So much for me trying to clean up and make things better. But you saw how easy that was to look up and see what you needed and what the size was. She has that there. Any questions? She does have a Facebook group that you can do. Don't forget, if you sign up, you get a free box. Your first box will be free. So be sure to check it out. Use the link below. Use my code, please. Let her know that you're watching and that you are enjoying her box as much as I am. Find us on Facebook under Thursday Threads Book Club, Sewing and Crocheting for Beginners, the Crazy D Ranch, and Rabbitry if you're interested in seeing our bunnies. We should have some baby bunnies soon. And don't forget to come back. I'll see you next time, right here on Crazy Dave's Crew. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.